What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? Boys here, welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today we're going to be taking a look at the match preview between Valencia and Barcelona. They will be happening tomorrow in the Camp Nou in La Liga Matchday fixture 22. Which otherwise would have been a very straight game. I believe that this time around we are gonna be having to answer a lot of different questions, and this is because Barcelona will be facing Real Madrid in La Copa del Rey semi-final just 3 days after this game against Valencia. Therefore, in this video, we'll be doing a very different match preview and taking a look at 3 different things Barcelona must do if they want to win both the game against Valencia in La Liga and also the game against Real Madrid in La Copa del Rey. Así que sin más preámbulos, let's get this video started. So the very first thing that Barcelona must do if they want to get the win against Valencia and also against Real Madrid is continue and build from the huge performance that they had against Sevilla. This is something which you're going to be hearing a lot on my channel, on other people's channel, and that is because it's the best thing that we could be doing at this current moment. Throughout the entirety of the season, Barcelona has struggled not to put good performances, but to be able to maintain that sort of level for a consistent run of games. We've been able to, keep your clean sheet, but in the attacking sense, that is something where Barcelona has been lacking. One game we can go outside and then score 6 goals like we did the last game against Sevilla, or others we can only manage to score 1 or 2 goals, like the time we did against Getafe. So, if we want to do this right, if we want to maintain this constant run of form, the main thing that we should do is keep our focus on point, because Barcelona are going to the games. Yes, they're winning them, but the thing against Sevilla, what we did so good was try and dominate from the get-go. We didn't think that, oh, Sevilla were gonna hurt us. We went outside there and think, oh, we are Barcelona, look at the things that we can do, look at the players that we have, and we set the tempo and dominated that game. That is something that obviously is easier said than done, but we take a look at the opposition that we have all around in world football. With the quality that Barcelona have, they should be able to do it for at least, what, 80, 85, even 90% of the teams out there in Europe. If Barcelona really wanted to and maintain that front foot, there will be something that they could do. I am the ones that believe that you should go to a game trying to finish it as soon as possible and then be able to do rotations. And against a team like Valencia coming up tomorrow, I believe that Barcelona should try and get the win from the start and then have the ability to rotate players, certainly for that upcoming match against Real Madrid in La Copa del Rey. A team like Valencia, the one Marcelino has created here, is a team with a lot of recorrido, with a lot of traction, a team that understands exactly what it's playing at, a team that may not go and blow you out of the water, it doesn't play the best attacking football, but a team that is very, very solid. So the only thing that we can do is try and break it as soon as possible. Teams like this, normally, as soon as you are able to break the duck, they're always going to be vulnerable. Barcelona should be able to do this easily if we keep in mind that we are going to most probably have a very technical player as a midfielder in the case of maybe Arthur or Carles Aleñá, and then a very good all-rounder in Arturo Vidal / Rakitic. I believe this is the best way Barcelona could do so, because therefore you have a player that can maintain the possession, a player that's very good off the ball, but also with it, that's going to be able to do 1-2 quick passes, and certainly going to be able to dribble past the players that come their way, and certainly break the pressure that teams like Valencia can put onto you. But then also you need to have a player like Arturo Vidal, a player like Ivan Rakitic, a player that's going to be able to contribute a lot defensively whenever we do not look too solid, but most importantly also be able to do a lot of the heavy work that doesn't normally get put on the media and stuff like that, the work that you don't normally appreciate that much, and that is going to cut the passing lanes, going to mark other players outside when they don't have the ball, and of course, most importantly, keep tabs of the opposition runs whenever they come our way. And with this, they lead me perfectly into my second point about what Barcelona must do to get both the win against Valencia and also against Real Madrid, and that is to do smart rotations. I do not want to see a kind of demanding rotations like the one we saw from Valverde in the first away legs in La Copa del Rey, where he just shifted like what, probably the entire first 11 despite 1 or 2 players. I feel that we need to be very smart in the way that we treat these rotations, and the best way to make a comparison is like, I don't know, whenever you play FIFA career mode, for instance, you have a player that's a little bit tired, you just change him. You don't have to change the whole system around him. You have to put different players in different roles, and then if you have the possibility, substitute them in within the same game. You don't have to make constant huge substitutions to prove a point, and that for me is the most important thing. The main example that I want to make for this game is, for instance, the defense. Right now we got so many different players that can enter in that position. I do not believe that our newest signing, Jean-Claude Todibo, will feature, probably not even this game or probably at all throughout the entirety of the rest of the season. He will probably be left a lot in the bench or not even called up. I believe that this could be a possibility. For instance, we see a person like Jason Murillo play, or someone like Thomas Vermeulen alongside either Clement Lenglet or Gerard Piqué. That's a very good, smart decision to rest one of our biggest players. I believe that, for instance, in the midfield we could see a partnership of Sergio Busquets, Arturo Vidal, and someone like Carles Aleñá, a very good playmaker ability that can do that role very similar to Arthur in a sense. And if he does not work, then just bring Arthur later on in the second half, or start Arthur and then bring Carles Aleñá. That's the thing, you have to be thinking about proper roles and not the entirety of the squad when you rotate. You understand what I mean? For instance, we could deal, I feel, with Suarez being the only main player in the attack of someone like Lionel Messi, and then giving them one arrest, including someone like Malcolm. Because if we take into consideration that Malcolm came from a team like Bordeaux where he was killing it in Ligue 1, he can certainly do a job against like a team like Valencia. He's more than capable. So let's try and give them chances in players like this, in games where there's actually things at risk, because that's when they're gonna show what they have out there in themselves to become a Barcelona player, an Arsenal player, a Liverpool player, whatever. From whatever team you are, I feel this is the best way where you need to give your players chances. It doesn't come good when you give these rotation players the chance to feature and gain minutes in games like the Coppa Italia, la Copa del Rey, the FA Cup, because in reality those are not real games. Those are anomalies from the entirety of a season of big clubs like Barcelona. So if you play Malcolm in situations like this, he's not gonna be ever a good Barcelona player, because he will never get that chance to adapt properly. That's, for instance, with people like Andre Gomez. He was very much criticized because he was given those opportunities. You know, Andre Gomez featured a lot in very important matches. He featured in the game against PSG when we were going away in the Champions League. He was featuring games like a team against Valencia where he actually scored his very first goal. Against teams, he was even brought in El Clásico, you know. He was featuring many different things, and if he didn't work there, well, fair enough. But Malcolm has not even given that chance, and I believe that in games like this, he can do a very big role. So within the second point itself, let's move onwards into the first 11. I believe Barcelona should start tomorrow against Valencia at the Camp Nou. I'm gonna go with Marc-André Ter Stegen in goal, which is right now our only goalkeeper, because Jasper Cillessen unfortunately will be missing out probably 6 weeks, it said, from an injury that he suffered in training, which is something very bad, because I was just speaking about how much effort he put in certainly that remontada against Sevilla in La Copa del Rey, and now he won't get the, you know, he won't get the rewards of it, because playing against Real Madrid in a situation like this doesn't come too far in between, you know. So Jasper Cillessen will certainly be very gutted that he won't be able to play a situation, and I feel that we all need to support him in this, because trust me, I would be in that very same position. Sometimes life is not as fair as we hope it would be. To the right, I'm going to go with Nelson Semedo. I believe that keeping somebody like, say, Roberto fresh for El Clásico, like I always say, he has that spirit, that extra thing that can help us in moments like this one. So I believe that keeping him for the game for Real Madrid and having Nelson Semedo in a game like this one against Valencia, where his pace can certainly help us against people like Rodrigo Moreno and people like Denis Cheryshev, well, it will be very useful. The two center backs in my case are going to be Gerard Piqué and Thomas Vermeulen, although we could also see Clement Lenglet and someone like Jason Murillo starting. It wouldn't surprise me that either Vermeulen or Murillo will start this game. I think certainly we'll see one of those two. In the left back position, I'm going to go with Jordi Alba. Right now, he's the only left back we have. I don't understand why we didn't brought a backup left back if people like Juan Miranda, Marco Correa are not going to be trusted in games like this one as well. It's just mind-boggling. The midfield three is going to be formed, in my eyes, of Sergio Busquets, Arturo Vidal, and Carles Aleñá. Someone like Arthur could also come in this game, but certainly I would like to have him in a very important game against Real Madrid, certainly at the Camp Nou, where we need to be the better team and hopefully not avoid to concede too many goals. So I would like to keep him fresh for that game, because we can see how important Arthur really is for a team like Barcelona. And then the front three, in my eyes, is going to be Lionel Messi as a false 9, Coutinho through the left, and then Malcolm through the right. Of course, if you have other opinions, be sure to leave them in the comment box down below. I believe that this team it's more than capable than beating a Valencia side. And certainly now that we're going to have 6 matches in 1 month, we must be very careful about how we treat this team, because before we're talking about rotations, about getting fresh to the Olympique de Lyon clash in the round of 16 in the Champions League, but now we have 2 more games where rotations are not allowed. We have to start a full team no matter what against Real Madrid. If Valverde pulls out a rotation squad against Real Madrid in the very first leg, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go and jump off this building because it doesn't make sense at all. So rotations must be done. And now, before finishing off this video, the last thing Barcelona must not do is underestimate Valencia, and obviously don't underestimate the value of this game. Because we have a Valencia team right now that just come out of a very good comeback against Getafe in La Copa del Rey. A Valencia side which certainly are going to be getting a lot of motivation of recent, and I believe that also they will be having a lot more stuff to play for as well, because they're reaching a point in the season where they're basically battling for very, very big stuff, because let's remember they also have a very big chance of being in Real Betis and then going to the final of La Copa del Rey. So for Valencia, that's also a very, very important point. So I don't know exactly whether Valencia is going to rotate or not, and Valverde must not make the mistake that Valencia are going to take this game kind of like as discarded, because right now we don't know what's going on. Marcelino has a game plan and Valverde does not know it, and you cannot believe that you know it, because at the end of the day then it's going to bite your tongue and we're going to lose. That's the thing. We have to be focused and we have to give the respect to the position that they deserve. So the very first thing that Barcelona must do there when I get to that field is take a deep breath and tell to themselves that this game matters, because if we lose points here, then Atletico Madrid is going to have the possibility of getting even closer and separating themselves from Real Madrid, and then we're going to have a very, very tricky team in Atletico Madrid of El Cholo Simeone breathing down our necks, and I don't want that, and I don't know you don't want that, because Atletico Madrid are painful in the ass. You know, they're like this mosquito that always wakes you when you're sleeping, you know, when you hear the like that. No, we don't want that. And then think about how good can we approach then the game against Real Madrid, the semi-final, the 2-legged affair, and also the Champions League. If we are more motivated, knowing that we have a gap in La Liga, we can be a little more fresh and calm for those very, very important matches. So I believe that a win here is very crucial. And do not also take that I'm taking this game seriously, because I'm not. Even though if I do rotations, I believe that these players, I have the belief in them. I believe that Malcolm against Valencia could do amazing stuff. I believe that Coutinho could do absolutely the same, and the same with Carles Aleñá. I believe that all of these players are good enough to wear that Barcelona shirt, and I want them to perform. And if we have them for a reason, well, go out there and prove it, because we have a very, very incredible fixture coming up, and we have to try and win every single game. It's gonna be hard, but Barcelona can do it. So guys, leave me your thoughts and everything in the comment box down below, and I believe Barcelona will win this game against Valencia 2-1. I don't think it's gonna be anything too extreme, but I believe that Barcelona can get this result. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.